55 days ago, this patch of ground was hard clay and packed down as tight as concrete. It was the kind of poor soil that most people would walk right past without a second thought. Today, that same patch is loaded with fresh, crisp green beans. You are looking at a full handful of food grown in less than 2 months on land that looked completely finished. This is not the result of a lucky season or expensive equipment. It is the result of choosing a plant built for speed and following a simple, reliable method used by old-timers for generations. What you see here is the Accelerate bush bean, a variety specifically bred to deliver heavy yields even when conditions are less than ideal. While many gardeners believe that beans take all summer and require perfect soil, these bush beans prove otherwise. The plants you see are compact, standing only about 2 feet tall, but they're absolutely loaded with pods. This isn't just about growing a side dish for dinner. In a survival situation, or when times get tight, this is a fast and reliable source of protein and essential minerals like iron and zinc. This method provides real speed you can count on when you need food the most. The process begins by understanding that you do not need to turn over an entire field to get results. You should wait until the soil feels warm in your hand after the last frost has passed. Once the ground is ready, simply loosen the top 6 inches with a fork or a shovel. There is no need to disturb the deeper layers of the earth. You can make small rows or little hills spaced about 2 feet apart to give the plants room to breathe. Drop your seeds 1 inch deep into the soil and leave about 3 inches of space between each one. Cover them lightly and ensure the ground stays damp every single day. The goal for the moisture level is to keep the soil feeling like a wrung-out cloth. It should never be soaking wet, but it must never be allowed to go bone dry. To speed things up, you can use a trick that most modern gardeners often overlook. Before you even drop your seeds, lay a sheet of black plastic right over your rows. This traps the sun's heat and can warm the soil by 10 degrees or more. Beans hate having cold feet, and this extra warmth wakes the plant up quickly, so it starts working immediately. Once the little plants push up to about 4 inches tall, it is time to thin them out. You should pull the weaker seedlings so the strongest ones have enough space and resources to thrive. At this stage, give each plant a single handful of well-rotted manure or old compost right at its base. For many varieties, this one feeding is enough to push them from growing leaves to forming pods faster than you might expect. If your soil is particularly depleted, you can use an organic liquid fertilizer made from seaweed or fish protein. Spraying this on the leaves at 15, 30 and 45 days after sowing provides a metabolic boost that bypasses poor soil conditions. This system works so reliably because bush beans are built for speed rather than size. Unlike pole beans, they do not waste energy or time growing thick vines or deep, complex root systems. Instead, they put almost all of their resources directly into leaves and pods right from the start. The Accelerate variety is particularly useful in poor soil because it has been bred with a massive root system that allows it to forage effectively for nutrients like phosphorus that might be locked away in the ground. The plant acts like a small, efficient factory that turns sunlight and a bit of warmth into edible food in under 8 weeks. Another reason for this success is the bean's natural ability to fix its own nitrogen. Small bacteria colonize the roots and extract nitrogen from the air, converting it into a form that nourishes the plant. In poor soil, where nitrogen is often missing, this is a built-in insurance policy for the grower. To ensure this process starts immediately, many old-timers coat their seeds with a special inoculant powder before planting. This ensures that the first roots to emerge are immediately supported by these beneficial bacteria. You can tell the system is working if you dig up a plant and see small pink or red nodules on the roots. Historically, this exact method was the backbone of the Victory Gardens planted during the war years. When store shelves went empty, families across the country realized that one packet of seed could provide basket after basket of fresh food. They planted these beans in backyards, vacant lots, and any small patch of dirt they could find. They chose bush beans because they were easy to grow, required no expensive trellises, and produced a harvest long before other crops were ready. In a homesteading or survival context, this reliability is more valuable than a high-maintenance, high-yield crop that might fail if conditions aren't perfect. The nutritional density of these beans also makes them a logical choice for self-sufficiency. Beyond protein, they are a significant source of fiber, potassium, and vitamin K, which helps keep bones strong. Growing your own food in poor soil isn't just about saving money at the grocery store. It is about taking control of your own food supply and knowing exactly what went into the pods you are feeding your family. When you use organic methods and avoid synthetic chemicals, you also reduce the amount of nitrates that accumulate in the beans, making them safer to eat. However, you must be honest about the limitations of this crop to be successful. Bush beans are very sensitive to temperature and will not survive a frost. If the nights drop below 55 degrees, the plants will slow down significantly and may even stop producing until it warms up again. They also require consistent attention to watering. If the ground dries out even once while the flowers are appearing, the plant may drop its blossoms to save itself, which effectively ends your 55-day goal. Furthermore, you must keep a sharp eye out for Mexican bean beetles. These yellow and black bugs can strip a healthy plant overnight if they are not managed. One of the most important final details for a successful harvest is the timing of your picking. You should walk your rows every couple of days and pick the beans while they are still young and tender. Ideally, the pods should be between 4 and 6 inches long and no thicker than a pencil. The seeds inside should be small and not bulging through the pod wall. The more frequently you pick, the more the plant is signaled to keep pumping out new flowers and pods all the way through the season. If you leave the beans on the plant too long, they will become tough and stringy, and the plant will stop working to produce more. For the best possible flavor and the highest sugar content, you should always harvest your beans in the morning. This is when the plant's metabolic energy is at its peak. Once harvested, do not wash the beans until right before you're ready to eat them. Storing them dry in a cool place or a refrigerator will keep them crisp for up to 10 days. If you have more than you can eat fresh, these varieties are excellent for canning or freezing to build up your winter stores.